Testing. Make sure we're all. Jimmy, don't you start now. Turn that off. Hello, if there's anyone out there, let me know if you can hear me okay, please. Somebody. People are in there. 3. If somebody could let me know if they can hear me, please. Mark at Emeldown and Norman, thank you very much. I'm just tinkering about on the bench, Norman. And hi, Mike. Thank you for that. Thanks, you can all hear me. Just trying to find somewhere this mic. That'll do for now. I've just got myself some coffee. Jimmy's about somewhere. Dwight, thanks for coming. Mike at Putnam, thank you very much for that. Thank you. As most of you should or may be aware, I've more or less finished this little beastie now, this 060. The last thing I did was give it a light dust cover. Dinmore, thank you for coming. How are you doing? I gave it a light dust cover, and I'll show you the one I used for that. A matte varnish. The dust cover I used was Life Colours. Life Colour paint, this one. Type 2 dust. I don't know how different it is from type 1, but they do have 2 different types. I have type 1 and 2, and they both differ a little. I don't know, let's see. I'm just check if we're on to 720. That should yeah, that's brought it back into focus now. So what I've got on my bench, I'll stick that to one side, back over there on the mirror. I've got a few things I'm working on at the moment. Somebody, and I can't mention who, and I can't mention what, too much about it at the moment. I will in the future, but Jimmy, please shut up. He sent me in different stages of build. Some are built, some are unbuilt, and some are just partly built. Brian, thank you for coming, my friend. Thank you. Now, yeah, I did leave it out in the Norman. These are some crash barriers, a scale model scenery kit, and I don't know how well you can see. They've got good detail on them, you know, the rivets and everything else, and they're pretty good. Yeah, Jimmy is naughty. In fact, I'm just going to open his cage and hopefully he's been out, you know, and I'm hoping he'll. I've let him back out. I've just opened his cage and he's coming. Jimmy, give your beak a rest now. You're out on the loose, all right? Sorry about this. Come on, idiot. He's out on the loose now. We can't see every part of you, Jimmy, because, right, yeah, look at you. There you go, Jimmy. Try to get Jimmy on there as much as we can. I'll move that. There you go. And Jimmy's gone. Now, you're out on the loose, so be quiet, Jimmy. Thank you very much. So I've been doing these crash barriers ready, and I'm getting some stuff ready for these buildings. I've got to sort out the exact position of the buildings, where they're going to go. Be quiet. And Jimmy's going to get a crack. Never mind a cracker. Jimmy, Senegal Jimmy. And I've got to sort out painting them up and what have you, which is all good fun. And it's usually, for me, it's usually a winter job when the weather is too inclement for me to walk out to the train shed and back. And today it has been raining for some reason. It's been persisting down with rain. So I'll just show you what I've been up to. I've got some 3D printing gear here. This is a little compressor. It looks all right. It's got all kinds of different mechanisms on it, the motor, the pump, the pistons and everything. That were from Timber Surf, although I'm going to be showing you some stuff taking over part of the thing that Jumble Lane were doing. It is good detail, is that, and you get a pack of 3 of those, and they're very little money. I just had to go at sort of looking at that one and painting the motor and things, but what I will do is give it an overall coat and then repaint the bits that are highly detailed. So what I've got for these buildings is a couple of packs of these modern TV aerials and satellite dishes. These, off the top of my head, I can't remember how much they are. I got a couple of packs. I think they're around about £5. Christian, hiya, thank you for coming. He might well do, Brian. Andrew, thank you for coming. Thank you very much, 156 Andrew. Now, I'm going to open this. I think it's about £5 or something like that. Now, I know these TV aerials, Bartman make a pack of ready-made aerials and ready-made satellite dishes. And they're not that much more expensive than these. But the fact is, when you buy the Bartman ones, everything in that pack is identical. They're exactly the same. So you'll get a row of houses with the exact same. Well, you only get 2 satellite dishes with these, Brian, and so you don't really have to use them if you don't want. I have done previously. Excuse me. But you don't have to use them, the satellite dishes, if you don't want to. But I've no doubt they might produce a bumper pack of aerials at some stage. Jerry, how are you doing? Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. And all these aerials, you get altogether there's 11 aerials, and there's 3 different types of aerial. So you get a fair old mixture. And what I do, I paint these with either a silver galvanizing spray, or if I'm up here near the airbrush, I'll use whatever I've got, a steel colour or what have you. And I use cable, and I let that run. I glue it from the aerial down along the building roof and down the wall to one of the windows, and just glue it like it's going in a window through a hole in the frame. What's the other thing I've got on here? These are from Timber Surf, and these are washing machines. Now you could either use these, and they're pretty good, you know. There's some nice details on these, really is. And you can use them. Hiya, Pat Bot. Are you talking to me? You're the parrot. You can use these as either. I was going to throw them in the scrapyard, but then I thought, no, they actually look pretty good. I could put them in a shop. Yeah, you throw them in a junkyard, but I was thinking I could put them in a shop, you know, as for sale. Yeah, and even a twin tub. When you buy these from Timber Surf, you can either, but you can pick and choose. That's just one of each in a pack, or you can pick and choose different packs. These are 3D printed blue pallets. These are from a different company. These are from Scale Model Scenery, these ones. And these are laser cut pallets, and I like these. You have to build them yourself and put these little bits on, but they look really, really good. And it's, for me, it's really therapeutic building them. I like taking my time and just quietly building them on quietly away. So I've got piles of all kinds of stuff going on there. And what I've got is these. They used to make these just as a printed affair. They're drain covers and grids, what you'd have at the side of the road. They are big washers, Jerry, because they're double O scale, mate. The double O, not that N scale that you use. So they are pretty big, are the washers. And these are those grids. And all I've done to these is, and then I've used powders, and you can see the ones that aren't rusty. What can I? We have a pointer. Get this. 1 second. You can see these ones, and I've got a powder just called steel, and what is it called? Make dark steel, and it's very, very much like graphite, and these are just a rust powder, and I gently just dab them on. Mystic John, thanks for coming. Doing great, hope you're well, my friend. And I've made some of them more of a steel colour and some of them rusty and what have you. And you just, how I've done it, because I've made my roads with plaster, I've just scraped out the shape just below the surface, and I just drop these in. But you have to colour it, the road surface, and colour inside, so otherwise you'll just get a white plaster line all the way around them. But these look pretty good. Like I said, they were just a picture before. They do, Norman. This is what I like about scale model scenery. Everything they do is it's marvellous stuff that they do. Hiya, Simon. I'm very well. I hope you are too. Thank you for coming, my friend. And so I did have the printed ones that looked all right. They were photorealistic, but these are even better. You can't get better than that. I believe there is some people doing brass etched ones. Excuse me. But they're just doing the grids, which should be a relative. Rain covers and things, if I can get close up. See if we can focus it on that. Just see if we can. I'll try and focus to get the detail so you can. There we go. You can see the little dimples, and there's even on these, there's even a hole at the apex and a hole further down where they'd put the lifting keys into, and let's see, they do look good. They do look really good when you set them on the road and stuff. Really, really good. Hiya, Stephen. Thank you for coming. So that's what I've got there with all these detail parts. Like I say, I'm expecting very, very soon to be showing you stuff from, there's a company that's got involved with Jumble Lane, and they're a commercial company, and they don't deal with the public. They're called Blue Tree Models, and they're involved now, and I'm hoping very soon to get some stuff and show them. I got this stuff for the first time ever, Tacky Wax. I don't know what it's like. If anyone has used this, can you let me know before I use it on my layout, what it's like? I've already bought it, so I'll probably give it a whirl anyway. You know, the people, you get your figures in. I've stuck mine to little clear pieces of acetate or clear plastic, but you can tell a mile away that they stood on a little piece of platform of plastic. And this stuff, Tacky Wax, Doesn't really have a scent. It doesn't smell of anything. It's not right tacky either, to be honest. But you can take the figure without the plastic base on, put a bit of this on the feet, and they'll stand up and stick wherever you want them on the layout. And it says remove them, allows repositioning, remove with warm water and soap. Just some sort of wax or other. It's not normal candle wax anyhow. So a little dab. So you've used it, Norman, yeah? Thank you, Simon. Yeah, thanks for the thumbs up, my friend. Hiya, Nikki. Thank you for coming. Hope you're well. Thanks, Nikki. Much appreciate you and Jerry. So I'm presuming you've used this stuff, Norman, this tacky wax, and it's worked all right. I don't want to leave lots of residue about, but I don't see myself really moving the figures about that often. Hopefully not, anyway. What I did got, but I can't show them because they're on the layout, is these waiting room seating that goes in the station. My old box of tricks here. And these are all things that some of them I've bought with a purpose in mind, exactly knowing where they're going to go and what I'm going to use them on. And others I've just bought them because I've seen them and not thought too much about it. The first one up is these tiny little tools. There's hacksaws, G-clamps, spanners, saws, hammers, pliers, paintbrushes, little clamps, you name it, screwdrivers and the lot. Everything's there. And those are double O scale, really tiny. But they look good when you put them on a bench, on a workbench and places like that. You know, it really helps to bring a scene. They are good, Brian. I do recommend you get some. I really do. They are very good. And they help with the detailing of the scene. It's great. It really is. I've used some and put them on workbenches and things like that. The next thing I've got is these that go outside shops and pubs and things like that. I've built one that's a tyre bay, a little building, and I wanted one for the tyre bay on one of these swing boards, but I don't actually have one of the posters for it that's about tyres, so I'm going to have to find one on the internet, shrink it down and print it off. But I'll put a couple outside shops and stuff, and they look all right. They're just something that's helping to finish it off. Now, we've all seen this type of fencing before. This isn't in strips of fence, it's in single fence panels with concrete posts in between. And I got this one for just making panels to either finish off the end of a row or just to turn a corner and things like that, where I needed just one or two panels on their own. So I've used those. They've now actually brought out a better set of fences where you see the palisades, the pointy on the top. They're actually do they call it tried? They're better than the plastic because they are actually much more flexible and bendy, and you can do a lot with them, and they're easy to cut. And I've got the chain link fence here, the chain link security fencing. This can be a devil to use. I've built some before, and the idea is follow the instructions to cut the mesh properly, because it's got a big folded piece of mesh. You have to run some tape along it when you've opened it out and cut with a knife through the tape and cut the net with the tape, and that way it's all cut straight and square in a good straight line. And then you build your fence, you glue all the parts to the posts before you stick it on the layout. That way you're not trying to glue the fence to the post on the layout. You get glue everywhere and stuff like this. This is the crash barrier type fencing. I've used barrel rail, they call it. I've used this on the bridge on the flyover, and that's not too expensive either, and you get the steel rails to put in between the concrete posts, and it looks real enough. And you always, you know, weather them and what have you. And these are those boxes, utilities that you see. You get them along the road on streets, you know, next to a building, and it'll have all the cable TV connections in, or the telephone landline connections, although that is now going out of fashion, but cable TV still uses them, and so it's not all lost. Some roofing slates, a load of roofing slates, because some of the buildings that you can buy that have a peaked roof, the slates are so small, and because they're all just pre-printed, they're really small and they just look out of place, and those slates are the right scale. We're not going to go through absolutely everything because it'd be boring as hell. Just some of the newer stuff I've got. Access platforms. I've built one of them and I've painted them in galvanized steel colour. I haven't painted them a fancy orange or anything. I've just left them as they are. To see what else there is on here. The house bricks one. These are 1,000 little tiny double scale bricks, and they come like this. You spray them and paint them while they're on the sheet, then cut them out. I use these for waste ground, derelict areas, places like that, on the dumps. Put a few hanging about in skips and stuff, and if you cut them out in a row, if you cut them out, they're all connected still in the row. You've got to cut them individually, connected by a tiny pip. But as they are, they're evenly spaced, just like they would be if they were in a course of bricks on a building. And I've used these to go above and below window openings and above doors and things like that. Just cut a length to what you want, and it's dead easy. And these are the same windows, which is going to bring me on to what I'm going to show you next. These are sash windows, and that's another set of industrial staircase that I'm going to adapt it for a fire escape on one of the taller buildings. Now, when I was doing this, I'll move all this paraphernalia. When I was doing this loco here, a few people said, oh, I like the broken windows and what have you, you know. This one here, and there's a glass in the edges, you know, there's glass around the edges of these where they've been put through and stuff. And it's a product, you've probably already heard it, you might have already used it, but I did say I'd show how I've done it for them. So I've got this here left over on a sprue from a laser kit, and it's a set of little windows there, you see, on a sash there, 6 tiny windows. And the stuff I've been used was glue and glaze deluxe, and it absolutely dries clear. The ones you can see on this aren't clear because I've sprayed them with muck and stuff like that, but they will dry clear, which is probably not ideal for me, drying them clear, you know, because there's nothing pristine and clean on my layout whatsoever. It's all supposed to be old and beggared. So it's just about, I've got a tiny tip on the end of this, and I just get some glue and just mold it along like that, you see, and it just fills those windows nicely. You don't need a lot. Now, as you can see, it's gone all over the shop on it, including. Now, what I'll do with that, I will clear most of that off the frame once it's almost dry. And what I'll have to do is let it See, on the other side that you'd see outside, it's not on the frame, it's all sat within the apertures of the windows. And what you do, you wait while it starts to dry, and then you can punch a hole in it however you want, and it dries, just dries to that shape and dries clear. So it's a really good, you know, if you've got small windows, you can't do it with a big window. You'd be there forever trying to build layer after layer after layer. But if you've got small little windows and stuff like that, you can do that to fill the windows in, rather than cutting acetate out and using that. Although on big windows I do use acetate, I only use this on small stuff and stuff that I'm going to smash and break if it's got broken windows and stuff like that. So that's about all of that. I'm just going to spin round and have a look in the comments. I'm not ignoring anyone. I'll put that there so you've something to look at for a sec. Wilbur Castle, Fred, thank you for coming. I appreciate it very much. Thank you, Nikki. Yeah, please do, if you're not subscribed, please do give us a thumbs up and a subscribe. It really is appreciated. I'll just have a look at some of these comments. Do you know, Brian, detailing and that, it's one of the most enjoyable things for me now. It's one of the best parts. Certain parts of the layout as trains are running. And I never, when I first decided to build a layout again and everything, I never knew it was all about the running the trains. It wasn't anything else. I never knew how much fun I was going to have doing the detailing and getting the stuff, and how many friends I was going to make on the internet and places. They are, Simon, there's some really nice kits. Norman, yeah, it does look like. Go on the website, especially Scale Model Scenery website, because they're constantly developing products. And I will say that Timber Scale is the same, and Blue Tree Models are going to be in a very big way very soon, developing a lot of stuff that's going to put them a notch in front of everyone. It really is, with the stuff that they've got planned. But I see things and I'll go on looking for something in particular, and I'll see the newest products and things that I didn't think I wanted and know that I needed to have, and I'll see them and look at them and I'll buy it just because it's the latest product and it looks good. But I have bought things without a clue as to where I'm going to put them, and I've done that a couple of times with telecommunication posts, you know, the masts for the mobile phones. I've managed to find places for two of them on the layout, and one I've built, and it's a shelf queen because I've nowhere on the layout for it to go, but I bought it whether or not because I thought it was a really nice kit and I liked it. So I bought it whether or not. One or two things are free samples, but that people have said so that I can appraise them on the channel and what have you, but not everything. Only a few minor things are that I've got sent like that. You know, the majority of it is stuff I've actually selected and bought or I had sent to me. And they do these other things like for your platform, for your railway platforms, the yellow lines, you know, that you have to stand behind the yellow lines and the sign mind the gap, and these are just peel and stick, and they're really good, and the yellow lines will do for road markings just as much as they do for the other stuff. Up on this shelf I've got quite a few. There's a lot of the print transfers for you. You know, if you want any signs that you stick on buildings, they actually print them up for you so that you've got. I'm trying to look. I didn't prepare for that, did I? But I'll. They should be in here. You know, if you're making a building and you want a worn sign that's painted and worn out, you can choose your lettering and they'll print it up, and you get it in various grades of weathered up and worn out type of thing, you know. From heavily weathered, it's been there for 20 years, or it's been there 100 years and stuff. And this is another detailing product for inside and sometimes outside. Fuse boxes and electric sockets and the like that run in steel conduit. We've all seen them in commercial places and in factories especially, where they've run the electrics on the outside of the wall as electricity were introduced into previously unelectrified buildings. And the thing is with this, I don't know if I can show it you how close up we can get, but I will try. If you look here, these are the sockets that go on the wall. I'll try, see if we can focus in. There you can get it. I don't know, well, you can see these are the sockets that go on the wall. There's 2 sockets and there is actually 3 little pin plug holes in each one. You can see it better on that one there at the top of the picture, what I'm pointing to. They've actually laser cut the holes for a plug to go in there. I don't have a plug that tiny to plug in, but isn't that a phenomenal detailing what they put on there? Well, and Andy, how you doing, my friend? That's some serious detail, and it's not something you're going to see very often on many products. And I was shocked when I saw that. I was shocked at the detail. I bought 2 packs of these, and I know it goes on the inside of a building, so a lot of people aren't going to see it unless they pull the lid off and have a look in. But you know it's there, don't you? And there is some instances where they are on the outside of a building, and you can perhaps see them in those situations. You get all the curls and bends and what have you, so you can make your way around obstacles and what have you. Product, it really is something that I wouldn't have considered it. It wouldn't have crossed my mind until I saw it in the catalogue on the website, and as soon as I saw it, that's it. You're having it, aren't you? Because it's that nice. It really is. And this is another thing I got from Timber Scale, a little culvert, 3D printed with brick and a little outlet for water, and I have a place for that. I bought that with intentions. I do have a place where I'm going to run that and make a little stream drain type thing, land drain, that's actually walled in, and going to put a little bridge over it, a little footbridge. They are, Andy, yeah, they're brilliant. Yeah, if you've got a cutaway roof or a lift off roof, what you're going to show people inside the building. And I think, you know, they do run on the outside of some buildings. You can have waterproof sockets outside. I've seen those myself in real life. But and I've got a few more little bits up here. Some of these Timber Scale sent me to review on these, and there's some of those I've shown them you because they've been in a review. So if you haven't watched the video, I'll show them you now. And these are just conduits and HVAC and what have you for heat exchangers and air exhausts and stuff for commercial buildings and what have you. And the other thing you can see here, I've built some of these up. This is and these are the devil's work to build. You see that little chair, and that, believe it or not, is all separate components apart from the back. The back is cut as one. Yeah, the good roof details are those, Norman. And these table and chairs, they come as a set, and you can build them up. Now they really are the devil's job to build. they're very tiny, they're very fiddly, you need a ton of patience, and some of them haven't gone together too well. But what I've done with those, I've either made them as part of what's being thrown into a skip, or I've made them dump, you know, thrown away on some waste ground or something like that, broken. These are the compressors I bought. An overall colour, spray an overall colour, and then pick out, hand paint the little detailed parts, and each one comes with a belt guard. You can see there the belt guard. That's the little belt guard that comes, so you can paint that black, and maybe the tacky wax will stick that on so you can take it off, on and off. Table and chairs would not look that good. Yeah, they're absolutely miniature, and to be honest, they are the devil's work to build now. I mean, they really are difficult, really need a lot of patience to get involved with those. And the other thing they've done is a stencil. I don't know if you can see that. Yep. And this is just like a plastic, but it's not called plastic. It's similar to plastic, and it's just got all, so you can do your own sign work on the side of buildings and things, and make it look old and worn, you know, just by using a sponge just to dab a light amount on. So I'm going to have a go with that. I'm going to practice with it first on something, you know, like I've done with this culvert. There is a, they do make them as a cardboard or laser board kit that you cover with brick paper, or you cover either with brick paper or concrete paper and stuff. Sorry for the buffering, guys. I can't help it. I don't know what's going on. I'm relying on the Wi-Fi. It's my fault. I'm relying on the Wi-Fi, I think, and it's not always the best, is it? Mobile data's on as well, and so yeah, it's me. Sorry about that, Brian. But the ones that are made in laser board and have a brick paper, I've never been a fan of brick paper. Yeah, and Jimmy will be using all the bandwidth up, won't he? Doing something. Because my layout's in a shed, it is heated, it is ventilated and what have you, and it doesn't really get damp. Thanks, Nikki. Yeah, that's a good idea. Try refreshing and see if that helps you. So I prefer a 3D printed. I just don't think they're brilliant. I really don't think they're just not what I want. As simple as that. And I just don't like the fact that they're printed, paper printed, rather than the real deal plastic embossing or whatever. Although I do use paper printed for stuff. I've got some here that I've used for a floor covering, you know, these little square floor tiles, and that's paper printed going inside a building. That looks fine. The other thing I had to do, and I'm not sure if you can tell, I don't know, it's a Coca-Cola sign, badly faded, painted onto a wall and withering away. And I found it on the net, and I shrunk it down to size, printed it off on paper, and then I used really fine sandpaper on the back of the print. I'm really sorry about this, guys. It keeps going on and off, doesn't it? And I sanded it down until I could almost see through the paper, and I did it just as far as I dare so that it wouldn't all completely rip and fall. Anthony, thank you for coming. How are you doing? I hope you're enjoying, you and Joyce are enjoying your holiday in the UK. It's been persisting down all day where I am today, so I'm not sure if it has for you. But thank you for taking time out to come and have a look in. So I did that cork sign, and you can just about see the brick lines in between and what have you. And this was just on a piece of scrap just to see if it worked. Proof of concept, a test of it. And yeah, I could do with it fading out a bit more, to be honest. And yeah, we keep getting intervals of well, he's from Senegal, is Jimmy, or he's originally Jimmy's from the UK. He was hatched in the UK, and the egg Jimmy was laid in was laid in the UK as well. So that's about everything I've been up to this last week or two. My next video, it's gonna be a video, not a live, and I'm gonna go through the buildings that I've been sent. I've been sent a massive box of buildings by someone. A lot of people will know who it is and what have you, but I don't want to say too much at the moment. I don't want to cause any ruckus for anyone or anything like that. But they've changed the layout. They've taken the layout down. A very well known layout, very popular layout, and very fortunate enough to get some surplus buildings as a gift, and I really appreciate them. Like I say, it's a very dear friend of mine sent them, and they're from design preservation models, and I think there's a couple of city scenics which have belonged to Barkman, which is a Barkman company. Yeah, there's DPM, city scenics. There might be a Walters in there as well, and there's quite a few kits and stuff. So it was really good of them, and it'd be really expensive to try and source all those buildings if you could even get them in the UK. As many of you know, I'll switch this around now. Shall I switch the camera around? Hi Joyce, I hope you're enjoying your visit to the UK. I'm going to spin around a sec and watch for my ugly mug, and look out, here it comes. Oh, there we go. Are you sure you want to stop streaming? No, I was just spinning the camera around. So there we go. So I'll be showing those buildings on my next video, but that won't be a live. That's just going to be a normal video on what have you. And I'll go through them and show you what my plans are going to be for those videos, because for the buildings, sorry, not for the videos, because they're gonna change the feel of my layout a bit. And you know, I prefer American style buildings more than anything else, because the ones that we have in the UK, majority of the ones that we have in the UK available, with Barkman being an exception, are pre-built, and there's a range, Harbin, Hamlet, and what have you. And for me, they're just too twee. The Mrs. Tiggy Winkle's cottage and Peter Rabbit's silly Barnum, all the rest of it, and it's all Tufty Channel, you know, Tufty Club, trumped in Camberwick Green for me, and Postman Pat stuff. I don't want it. I don't like it. I can't stand it, which is why I don't make sheep and hills and landscapes and all that. I've got sheep. I'm sick of sheep. I'm sick of them. I hate lambing season every year. I hate bottle feeding hundreds of lambs. It's all terrible, and I really don't need to remind myself of it on my layout. It's an escape, is my layout. I escape to it to get out of the real world. And there's no sheep, there's no cow fields, and there's nothing like that, and we're not knee deep in mud and cow muck and stuff in on the layout. So these buildings are an absolute bonus, and they're going to help create the image I've been trying to do. And I don't know how many of you know, but if you go and look at a layout called Franklin and South Manchester, and that to me is one of the greatest layouts you'll ever see. It really is among the world's top layouts without a shadow of a doubt. Easily comparable to Miniature Wonderland in Hamburg. It's on different theme, full of work, artistry and skill that's gone into it is second to none, and the atmosphere it creates. George Selios is an incredible man. Fine scale models, kits he makes, he owns. What a layout, and I was really inspired by that layout. I found it brilliant. It's an awesome layout as far as I'm concerned, and I've tried to take elements of that and put them into my layout, you know. So I don't know if that's working or not. I need objective opinions for that. Let's have a look here. What's on this chat? Thanks, Nikki. Thanks for saying that. Everybody do give us a thumbs up if you like what I'm watching. But I'm just about at the end of showing you. Yeah, they do, Brian. In fact, I've got some of the ghost signs. If you just 1 second, everyone waits there. I'll just unclick that and I'll go and see if I can find. Oh, oh dear. Sorry about this. Go back. I've got that file here and some ghost signs. This, I'll show you this one. This is a printed sheet of all the rubbish you can get. Crisp packets, McDonald's, carrier bags, McDonald's wrappers, and all that type of stuff, and newspapers. And if you're in the club, you can print all that off for free. You can print it off whenever you want. I'm not sure, I've been looking at those ghost signs, but I'm not sure where I put them. I thought I put them up there. Oh, hang on. I might have just seen them up there. Oh, that's up. Yep, I've got them. These are some little number plates. I'm back this way. I'll spin back round again. Sorry, folks. So I'm familiar with what I'm doing now. You can't see my ugly mug, and it'll stop people from clearing off. These are some number plates. They print loads of these water slide transfers. You can see the price. That was £4.49. Somewhere to note. If you're a member of the club, everything you buy you get a 10% discount on. So upgrade to first class postage, which usually means you get your stuff within 48 hours. You get access to a lot of other stuff, and you get all the downloads for free. Just print them off yourself. And don't forget, this company first ever started off as a download company several years ago, and they have lots of downloads, and even now they are still adding to the downloads, you know, and there's carpets, rugs, fireplace, wallpaper, you name it. These are some graffiti. Gus, hiya. I know, I can't find out what's going on. I've switched to mobile internet, hoping the phone provider will give us a better. Maybe when Elon Musk gets and there's some signs he made for a trial when he was making them, and they're on here as well. Imperial Mills, you just see they look really weather worn. He actually made those for free because we were doing a test to test them out, and this is the ones from that latest tobacco warehouse I built, and I think it's 8 or 9 quid for a sheet, and you get 4 of these signs, and you get all these lot with it. Speed restrictions, goods in, goods out, private stores, all the rest of it. Oh, something going on with the internet over there now on my PC. And this is another set I got. So for a tenner, it's barely a tenner, and I think it might be 9 quid. and then you get 10% off, which makes it £8.10, and you get a set of decals that are water slide. Great fun, absolutely brilliant. They do some that are already made up, like brewery signs, and I think maybe Lipton's tea or something like that. Like with these graffitis, you can fade them to make them look like they've been there a long time, same as you can with the others. And I use that decal soft stuff, decal set and soften. And what you do with this is you put your decal into the water, your water slide transfer, just like normal, and you put this onto the spot where you're going to put the decal, and then you stick the decal onto it and let it absorb and stuck on afterwards. And once it's all dried, you can go over it with a matte varnish. That's all right. Thank you very much, Nikki. I really appreciate your help. Thank you ever so much. And so this one is really good to use just for that. It does something, it softens it. You can even put it on the outside of the decal as well, it won't affect it if you want to soften it some more, and just mold it in. And when you're molding it in, you know, you can use anything, a tiny little push that transfer the decal down into the lines. And it's not just for brick walls, it can be for the side of a vehicle on a bridge where you're making it fit right over the rivets, and so you can still see the rivets through it and everything. It really does look good when you mess with it like that. It's having the time to do it though. I know not everyone's as fortunate position to have all day every day to mess around and bugger about with stuff like I do. I'm very, very fortunate in that respect, that I'm not expected to do very much these days, only and just play about most days, just mess about and tinker with things. So I'm gonna call it a day. I'm so sorry that my damned internet keeps going on and off. I'm maybe gonna have to run a cable from the modem downstairs all the way up here to the phone. I think that might be my best way around it. I don't know what else to think to stop it from happening. I've got the Wi-Fi connected and I've got the mobile data on, so it can switch between the two. Thanks, John. Thank you. I have enjoyed myself. Thank you all for coming. I really do appreciate each and every one of you. It's been a bit of fun. I'll be better prepared next time for the next live, but the next video is going to be this week. I'm going to be showing them buildings. Bye, Mike. Thank you for coming. Thank you, everyone, very, very much. And to you, Fred, it will be. Thank you very much. Bye for now, my friend. And the next one will be in the next few days, and I'll be showing you these buildings, and we'll be talking about where they're going to go and what have you, and what we're going to do with them, because they are fantastic. Thanks, Brian. That's appreciated. Thank you. Buckley Junction, thank you very much. Bye bye for now, my friends. Do take care. Thank you all very, very much for turning up. Thank you. Bye bye for now, my friends. Bye. Bye, Anthony and Joyce. Please do accept my thanks for interrupting your holiday, for coming and having a quick look. Do enjoy yourselves while you're here, if you can get over the horrible weather that we're having, which is usual for this lump of rock in the middle of the North Atlantic anyway. Bye bye for now, everyone. Do take care. Bye bye.